Movies. They're bad now. But I don't want to go down that butthole. I mean rabbit hole. I mean bend over, Bob Iger. I'm coming in. Just kidding. We're going to go back to 2007, where there were 3 things that I could think of that would define the times for me. Number 1. Stanley Yelnats screaming for his stainless steel Sky Daddy, directed by Michael Bay. Dear God, make you feel like you had a rattlesnake playing Wizard of Oz behind your zipper. Number 2. Hood emo Lord Riri with her breakout weather performance and a Guitar Hero 2 haircut. She made every suburban brother in Christ believe they was brothers in ice. And finally, but most importantly, there was Halo 3, the game that gave the world a reason for abstinence and the N-word pass. Xbox Live was Microsoft's gift to the world that created a birthplace for jihadist infants with a keg of Red Bull and reminded college students to use a rubber. It was the Wild West that would make any employee of the month at ISIS seek trauma therapy. But gee willikers, Batman, when you first opened that loading screen and heard that beautiful choir score, you could feel your trend twins tingling, TRT flowing through your veins, like you could wife up Cortana, start a family, and then leave her for Halo 4 Cortana. There was a campaign that would make you thank God that Jesus saves, because those jackal snipers are going to make your mental state go to the unholy land where you have dreams of going law-abiding citizen on any space iguana at the neighborhood cookout. The multiplayer mode was the boots toot and would evolve over the years that would make it a goat that still floats. There wasn't a jersey in sight, but you would beg your homies to high-five your hiney because gosh darn it, that was a good game. So what in Captain Key's front butt tuck does that have to do with any Halo movie? Well, according to this article, we were supposed to get a blockbuster movie directed by no one other than himself, Petey Boy Jackson. The Trilogy Master, the Kong Clapper, the man. But we'll get to that in a second. First, I'm the Turtleneck Titan, exposing the Deep State Cabal. If you would like more true misinformation, please subscribe. Now let's get into it. The Xbox was released on November 15th, 2001, as Microsoft's answer to PlayStation 2 and George Bush's answer to 9/11. At the time, most consoles kind of had a mascot that would outshine the actual platform it was actually on. Sega had Sonic, Nintendo had Mario or Zelda, PlayStation had, honestly, not really anything too strong yet. Maybe Crash Bandicoot or Gran Turismo, which if you were this guy was 50 Shades of Game you'd sit on a muffler for. The highest selling game on Xbox was actually Halo. The first one, which released with the Xbox, debuts sold 5 million copies, and Halo 2 sold over 8 million copies. So upon the release of Halo 3, they were pushing the game hard with the 360, making limited edition Halo 360s and demonic trailers that would possess your thoughts for months. They also made toys, sodas, and a total marketing campaign that would cost over $40 million. It was the biggest entertainment debut in history to date, making $170 million, selling 3.3 million copies of the game in the first week. But the most beautiful piece of promotional material that came from this was Halo Landfall. It was a live-action promo that had to have been made by a closeted straight man because he needed to purge some pent-up testosterone by making this trailer. Dear God, he did it. That beach scene in Saving Private Ryan is the only thing that comes close, and this man made saving no one's private parts his MMO in the Holy War. No one was safe. The first time I saw it, I swear it was like a spiritual experience. It was like you couldn't have been in the room if you hadn't been circumcised. It was like the ghost of a grunt that you executed in cold blood had come back for revenge and gave every wiener in the room a high and tight fade. We all got edge-ups from the neck up, and I don't regret a minute. I remember being a kid thinking this was a trailer for some movie that they were going to make. It turns out it wasn't, but why didn't they make a movie? So I did some digging, and then I did some digging, and then I did some more digging, and it turns out I didn't have to do that much digging because there was an article written about it. In 2005, because of the success of Halo 2, Microsoft hired Alex Garland to write the script. He's known for writing the screenplay of 28 Days Later and kind of sounding like an alias for Andrew Garfield. They thought with his zombie-esque sci-fi experience, he would be able to adapt The Flood to screen. So they let this guy write his own script instead of licensing it to a studio to write it, which is kind of not normal. And that would end up being the double-edged potato peeler that would shaft the world of this masterpiece. And you'll see why in a minute. The script was faithful to the games and respected the source material. Oh, how fun! How fun they would do that! This creative control is what would make and break off a big ol' steel toe in Microsoft's back porch bakery. Studios didn't want the risk and the lack of control over a company that had never produced a film, except for 20th Century Fox and Harry Potter World. I mean Universal. The studios agreed to the terms, and now they announced that Peter Jackson, our sturdy king, Peter Jackson was involved. Peter was riding the wave of Lord of the Rings takeover, making the greatest film trilogy ever, and was about to release a hit King Kong. He was the hit maker. Peter had the Midas touch. He was like Drake possessed a sweaty GameStop employee, but dude, he had cake. My boy was sturdy, built like someone's auntie, too cheap to find out what Victoria's Secret was. So Peter brought on some talent, Fran Walsh and Weta Workshop, the special effects team from Lord of the Rings. Side note, the lead designer on Halo tried to honeypot Peter, and they had a midnight drive to make out Mountain in a Warthog Weta built. That has nothing to do with the story. I just thought that was a cool side note. I'm not sure why they wouldn't want Peter to direct, but apparently that wasn't his involvement. Guillermo del Toro was in the talks for the hot seat, but that fell through, and Neil Blomkamp was apparently the guy that they went with. He was unknown at the time, but would go on to make Space Alopecia, I mean Chemotherapy Master Chief, I mean Elysium. But it raised a lot of concern because our no-name director had no credibility. But with our sturdy king standing firmly behind him with his hands planted in a King Kong gorilla grip on his cheeks, whispering in his ear, "I'm Batman." Then everybody was cool. Because, I mean, hey, come on. He made Lord of the Rings. Poppy Peter knows what he's doing. Game of Thrones showrunner D.B. Wise hopped on board to rewrite the script, which before 2018 was not a bad thing. With a bow on top of the script and pre-production already cooking in October 2006, it finally happened. The project came to a stop because our sturdy king, along with Microsoft, were going to take a hefty chunk of the profit, and that made studios back out. The proposal for the budget was 128 milli vanilli because this really made a billy, but the franchise wasn't a guaranteed smash, so they were over it. There were whispers of MGM and Warner Bros. Taking it on, but it got shelved. They tried to bring on Josh Olsen to perform an exorcism on the poor thing, but unfortunately everybody was like, who the F is that guy? And it was done. Master Chief was now Master Please present Dobby with an antidepressant. Cool side note though, some of the props from the movie were reused and repurposed in District 9. Anyways, I know as far as Halo, we've got movies like Forward into Dawn. I'm sure it's good, okay? I'm talking about a theatrical release. There's other things that have come from it. Apparently, there was rumors about Steven Spielberg having a TV show out of the script, and that got passed around from different studios and directors and showrunners like Scooby's Dooby. And now, today, it is what we know as this mud pickle. I can't believe this is what we got instead, man. I know there's a lot of people that probably like the show. I don't care, dude. There are some things I like about the show, like The Covenant, and, you know, some of the fight scenes fondled a hemorrhoid or two of mine, but it doesn't really get much worse for staying true to the source than this. But if you don't care about all that, you might like it. But I like to imagine that if we got that movie from Peter Jackson or the show from Spielberg back when movies were still good, who would y'all cast as Master Cheeks? I like to live in a not-so-dry daydream that Tom Hardy would be a great chief. Angelina Jolie is Cortana. I don't know, she kind of looks like the Covenant now. Maybe she's the Arbiter. Or Mila Jovovich. I don't know, she's a nice lady. She did action movies. She has like an AI look to me. I don't know. Slap some Linkin Park on a soundtrack and my heart is warm. What y'all think? I don't know. Comment below and subscribe if you like this video. I know people say that all the time, but seriously, do it if you like it. I'll make more. Right now, this is just a hobby, so I just take coffee enemas and grind out a video. I like this. I think it's fun. You know, let me know what you guys think.